to stand with many of you in pushing back against HB 56, the anti-immigrant law that sought to drive away some of us who are standing here with us today. I'm going to do this in Spanish too, so I hope you'll bear with me. Soy un abogado con Southern Poverty Law Center, proyecto de justicia inmigrante, que lucha y advoca por algunos de los miembros vulnerables y marginados. Mi trabajo en el área es en el área de...
That shocked the world. 2 years after that movement, there was a child that was born. A little black boy born in Mobile, Alabama, and later moved to Pontiac, Michigan. 44 years from there, he stands as one of Alabama's 7 black state senators because of that movement. My heart is heavy today, because as I can only read about the movement and read about those who made so many sacrifices so that I may be. It's heavy because as we pray for our soldiers that are across foreign land fighting for our rights.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds. But we refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. We refuse to believe that there are insufficient funds in the great vaults of opportunity of this nation. And so we've come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. We have also come to this hallowed spot to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism.